But anyway, I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so tonight's show, we're figuring it out. Ben hopefully come back on his phone. It'll sound better. You'll be able to hear him. We got Packers cuts and Packers players that are interesting to talk about. That, we know the guys that are going to make the team for sure. There's some interesting guys, bubble guys that maybe shouldn't be on the team that might end up being on the team, guys that should be on the team that they'll probably get rid of. And we'll just have to talk about some of those guys too. So we got a list of guys there. There's some trends, which are interesting. And then I don't know if anyone's caught the top 100, any of the NFL top 100. I have a few interesting notes on that to comment about. But that's all football stuff. The biggest thing about tonight's show is that today is Mom's 70th birthday. 70. That's right, Mom. I said it. I told everyone how old you are on this show. 70 for Mom. And to honor Mom tonight, 70 fart gun salutes during the course of our show. That's number 5. I'm keeping a running list so I can make sure we get all 70 in, because every year of life deserves a fart gun salute. So that's what we're doing with tonight's show. Okay, so let's see. Ben was kind of grumpy when I called him. Not just the microphone thing, grumpy for other reasons, but the grass reasons also. I know grass makes him grumpy. Some other things make him grumpy, but that's kind of the situation. So here's a couple of guys. I want Ben's take on a few of these guys, but here's a few people that I think are really interesting to talk about. One, has anyone noticed how incredible Chris Barnes has been playing here in the preseason games? Like, I don't know what he looks like in practice. I haven't seen all the practices and what they're judging in practice, but in these games, Chris Barnes is flying around, making plays in the right spot, covering guys, breaking up passes, tackling people. Chris Barnes is, I don't know if he took the Quay Walker drafting as a motivational tool or an insult, or I don't know how it landed for him or what's going on. He was just a good, solid player, but he's flying all over the field right now and showing you that he's a legitimate starter in the NFL. And that's another one of these undrafted guys that the Packers just managed to get on their team and then it's turned into something. So Chris Barnes, again, him and Jordan Love were teammates in college. Hey, Bruce. But I don't know. I mean, I really like Chris Barnes. I love the way he's playing the preseason. At this point, with his knowledge and also understanding the defense, but even the way he's playing, I'd like to see him on the field over Quay Walker at this point. I don't know.
What?
Chris Barnes been crazy good, dude. He's been all over the place.
Chris Barnes missed the tackle really bad in the game the other night, and he has limitations. He has limitations.
All right. Well, what are Quay Walker's limitations?
Quay Walker, did you watch him cover the running back and tackle the crap out of him and third down and frickin' 7?
Okay, that's one play.
He tackled him. He physically assaulted that dude, just like Aaron Donald physically assaulted a bunch of Bengals with their helmets the other day. It's the same type of thing, except it's legal and not wrong in the NFL.
Chris Barnes,
on the other hand, the same exact running back missed a tackle, and the guy got a first down up the sideline. So you tell me.
I will tell you. I also saw Quay Walker try to push or tackle a wide receiver near the sideline, and he didn't. He got kind of shoved around a little bit. He didn't look very physical on that. So what do you say to that?
I don't remember that.
Oh, you conveniently don't remember that.
O.J. McDuffie got his butt handed to him, like got shoved back 7 yards trying to block or tackle a running back. So I don't want to see him out there either.
O.J. McDuffie is not the answer at inside linebacker. O.J. McDuffie is hopefully a guy that helps improve the special teams and can be a backup linebacker. But O.J. McDuffie, I don't know. I don't know.
Is that his name, O.J. McDuffie? I don't know. I just said that.
Yeah. You got it right. You got it right. It's O.J. McDuffie.
I'm so mad right now. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time.
I understand. Number 6. That's a good one. Number 6. 64 more to go. All right. So I want to talk. Well, anyway, I like how Chris Barnes has been playing. I think he's been flying around. Like I said, I don't know if he took the drafting of Quay Walker as a motivational tool or whatever, but I think he's looked the best he's looked as a Packer, and I thought he was solid before, and now he looks pretty darn good. I mean, tipping balls, covering guys, doing all kinds of stuff. Chris Barnes flying around. All right. Another guy who's been flying around and really showing up in the games, Ben, is Chris Slayton. Like number 60, if you don't know what his name is or who he is, because we got a TJ Slayton, number 93, who gets a lot more, notice because he was a draft pick from last year, this huge dude. But here's this number 60 guy who just keeps making plays all over the place. Can you cut that guy?
I wouldn't cut him or Jack Heflin. They're both playing great.
How many D linemen are we going to keep then?
Well, you got to get rid of Dean Lowry. Sorry. See ya, Dean Lowry.
Dean Lowry? Come on.
Yeah.
Bruce, tell us what his cap number is at, unless Ben knows it.
I have no idea.
Okay. Let me just sneak a peek at that. Let's look at D lineman then. So let's look at D lineman here. What do we got? We got all right. So we know this Byers guy, he's out. Kenny Clark, all world Kenny Clark, he's on the team. Jonathan Ford, you're out. Jack Heflin, so that's number 2. Jaron Reed, number 3. TJ Slayton has to be on the team. Okay.
That's what everybody says.
All right. Number 4, Chris Slayton should be on the team.
Yep.
6'4", 307, second-year player out of Syracuse. And Devontae Wyatt's got to be on the team?
First-round pick. He's got to make it. Even though his play doesn't match what his first-round pick.
That's what I was going to say. Who's looked more impressive, Devontae Wyatt or Chris Slayton?
Chris Slayton looks way more impressive.
Oof.
But he wasn't a first-round pick. So there's no way to cut the first-round pick.
4. We're keeping 6 D linemen and cutting Dean Lowry?
No, we're probably keeping 5, and they're getting rid of Heflin, and they're getting rid of freaking Chris Slayton like idiots.
No. Yeah. Because you're not going to sneak those guys back probably on your practice squad this year, right?
I don't know.
Bruce says
maybe you can, but
dead cap is 4.5. Dean Lowry's cap at 8, 4.5 dead cap.
This thing that bothers me. How about, I don't know, if it's not a first-round pick, I get a first-round pick because first-round picks, I mean, that's a lot of money, and I get it.
Yeah.
But TJ Slayton, for instance.
5th-round pick?
5th-round pick. Is he that great? I think Jack Heflin and Chris Slayton have outplayed TJ Slayton and Devontae Wyatt by a lot. They're not going to cut Devontae Wyatt. We know that. But why does TJ Slayton automatically get a spot when the other guys look better than him? I don't get it. Now, the one thing is a draft pick usually is signed for multiple years at, especially a 5th-round pick, at a low rate. But still, even undrafted free agents, you have rights to their, like, they don't get, like, even Lazard, for instance, right? He's been in the league for how many years now? He's making jack squat because he was originally an undrafted free agent. And every time there's a restricted undrafted free agents, unrestricted, blah, blah, blah. And they always get to sign him back for this minimum crap contract. They can't ever go for more than that because they were undrafted. So they never end up being able to be, like cheaper or make more money until later on.
Right.
So I don't think it makes that big of an impact to cut Slayton and keep one of the other 2 guys if they've proven more and put Slayton on the practice squad. That's what I would say. But
sorry.
Who knows?
Bruce,
who knows what they'll do?
Bruce, we're on our way to 70 fart gun salutes during the show tonight. We currently have 7. All right. Bruce says, you think you can get Slayton past waivers to the practice squad? Which Slayton do you refer? TJ Slayton or Chris Slayton, Bruce? You need to, or is that how you spell his last name? Oh, no, they both are the Slay. Hey, here's some notes about Chris Slayton. Let me give you this, okay? Because I looked it up because I was like, okay, what's this guy's story? What's going on with the guy? Why is he looking so good in the Packers? How did this happen? Okay, originally claimed off waivers by the Packers from the San Francisco 49ers, May 25th of 2022. Drafted by the Giants in the 7th round of 2019. Spent most of his rookie season on the Giants practice squad before being elevated for the final game of the season, but did not play. Then was released by the Giants following 2020 training camp. He spent that season on practice squads of the Bills and Atlanta. in 2021. He was with the Falcons for the offseason training camp, spent the first part of the season practice squad before being released. Then a brief stint with the Steelers before joining the practice squad, before joining the 49ers practice squad in mid-November.
Jesus.
So he's been bounced around a bunch in just a couple of years. Drafted in 2019, we're at 2022. He's only got 1 year of experience because of the, all the practice squads and all this other stuff. But the guy started 42 games out of 49 games that he played in his final 3 seasons at Syracuse. He's a similar body type to Jaron Reed. He's 6'4", 307 pounds. And I don't know. He's showing up on the football field. Like, I don't care. All these other teams passed him over. He's 26 years old. We see this all the time. It happened with Douglas. It's happened with plenty of other guys. Maybe they didn't have the right attitude. Maybe they didn't have the right mindset. Maybe they weren't ready for the moment early on in their careers. Maybe after being, kicked to the side how many times, there's something clicks for them, or they dig in deeper and reach a new level. I don't know. But the guys just looked really good in the preseason. And I guess you know that those teams that had him in camp maybe won't try to pick him up, but there's a whole bunch of other NFL teams that might. So Bruce thinks you can sneak him, and he's clarifying. He thinks you can sneak Chris Slayton on the practice squad, get him off waivers. I don't think so. Come on, man, he's flying.
I think you can, but here's the thing I'm going to say about it.
All right.
For all Packer fans out there, think about what Rasul Douglas did to our team last year. And think of how hard it took, or how long it took to get him on the field. And a lot of people bring up that he played in the, or they bring up the Vikings game, the second Vikings game that we lost, where Kirk Cousins threw the ball over the place and they kicked the crap out of us and our secondary sucked and blah, blah, blah. Well, what people don't remember is that Rasul Douglas was not starting in that game. Kevin King was healthy again, and he started that game. And Rasul Douglas was the third corner in. But nobody remembers that part. Actually, he was the fourth corner because Chan Sullivan was the slot ahead of him. But nobody remembers the fact that he didn't play in that game hardly at all. And then after that game, guess what happened? Oh, yeah, Douglas got to start again because Kevin King sucked. And finally, the defense figured it out. And it comes down to a point where play the guy. I don't care if this guy was a first-round pick or a second-round pick or whatever he is. And this guy is way better. And yeah, he's bounced around the league 100 times. Don't care. As Packer fans, we want the team to win, right? We want the team to do as good as possible, right? So, like I said, Dean Lowry, and people are going to say I'm an idiot, but Kenny Clark, I would rather see Reed and Chris Slayton out there with Jack Heflin. That would be my starting 3 at defensive line. I mean, honest to God, which sounds crazy, and I know people think I'm an idiot, and that's fine. You can all think I'm an idiot. Kenny Clark is not that good. I'm sorry. There's times that he makes plays. When you get pancaked by Royce Newman on family night, something is wrong. He got pancaked by Royce Newman on a running play. Royce Newman. The guy who can't block anybody, pancake Kenny Clark. I mean, come on.
But I mean, the thing you've pointed out and noticed is the pursuit. Like,
right.
Pursuit and activity from the inside guys. So, messing up screen passes, pursuing down the line, chasing the quarterback, not just getting, maybe creating some sort of stalwart or maybe taking on a double team or maybe filling a hole, but being able to make a play off of that. Being able to do that, but also make a rangy play. If you had multiple guys like that,
well, even Devontae Wyatt the other night made a play. Even Devontae Wyatt made a play. Like he didn't make a play, actually. I take that back. But he showed speed after the running back got past him. He came back around again and ran straight. You know what I mean? Like he has some sort of speed, some sort of pursuit ability. Kenny Clark has 0 pursuit ability. Dean Lowry, 0 pursuit ability. You know what I mean? That was the one flaw with Mike Daniels. Mike Daniels was not fast, but he was so strong he could take on 2-3 guys and still make the play and not move and beat the crap out of dudes and get in there and mess stuff up. But as
he was quick though too. He was
right.
quick.
But as we saw in the playoff game against the Cardinals, the whole stupid Larry Fitzgerald play, Mike Daniels had a shot to get to the quarterback, and he just wasn't fast enough. And that's how stupid Palmer got the ball out of there. Next thing you know, 70 yards down to the freaking 3-yard line, whatever the crap it was in overtime. And that was the end of it. Packers lose.
Yeah.
I mean, the next play, they just kind of ran it. It was an easy, whatever the crap, flip to Fitzgerald for a run in. But I mean, it was pretty much over because back then they could kick a field goal and win, which you can't do now. But
you're naming all these people that I want to segue into later in the show, but that's okay. Hang on. We got a bunch more. Got more of these to get. All right. That's 3 more. We're up to 10 now. We got 60 more to go.
What I'm saying, though, is play the best guy. Play the guy who wants it more. Play the guy who can make something happen. I mean, I'm sick of the whole Kevin King, Kenny Clark, Darnell Savage. You know what I'd rather see? Abernathy at strong safety. Adrian Amos at free safety. Amos doesn't have the speed, but he's way smarter in the backfield. He gets more interceptions back there.
Yep.
That's
great
for
hands,
sure.
Too. He's got great hands.
Yeah, and he knows where the damn ball is when it's in the air. And Abernathy is great at attacking. Holy crap. He got screwed by the refs again. I mean, that should have been offensive pass interference on number 82 in the game last night when he would have had a pick 6. But he got to take it away because that guy grabbed him and then didn't call nothing. But that was awesome. He was aggressive. He attacked. He went after stuff. That's 2 weeks in a row where that guy is aggressive and attacks. I would love to see that guy. Like when it's Packers in red zone defense, get Savage's ass out of there. Put Abernathy in. Abernathy will attack. Savage never attacks. No. He does nothing. He's useless in freaking red zone. I'm sorry, people. Watch the freaking film. He stinks. He's terrible, terrible. When I play Madden, I take his ass out. I put Rasul Douglas at safety. Oh, we should talk about that.
Yeah, there's some of that too. Hold on.
Do a couple fart gun salutes in there. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
We got a comment for David here. He says he hopes they don't put Toure on waivers. We'll get to that too, David, in a second.
They're gonna, David.
There's some other guys too. That's the interesting thing. There's people here that I don't really want to see them cut because I don't think they're going to be able to get them back. And then there's guys that they probably should cut if they want to keep them, and they will be able to. And we'll give you a quick list on that too. But here you go. So again, 70 fart gun salutes tonight in honor of Mom's 70th birthday. We are now up to 12. We'll keep a running total here as the show goes on.
Go.
Okay, Ben. Hey, okay. Speaking of a couple of those guys, now let's talk about a couple of guys, and then we're gonna get back to some of these guys that, oh man, we really hope they don't cut, because if they do, I don't think they're gonna come back. Chris Slayton, Bruce, I don't think I don't think they'll be able to get him back. But I hope you're right. I hope you're right. This for once in your life on our show. I hope you're right. Anyway, so the point is here. What about guys like Sean Ryan? I know he's a 3rd-round pick, but what has he shown you this year? You could cut his ass, and you could sign him back in the practice squad.
He won't cut a 3rd-round pick.
He's terrible. He
never cuts a 3rd-round pick the first year.
I know, but he's been terrible. Terrible.
Dude,
like no one's good.
It took Jay Sternberger to drive drunk or whatever he did for them to cut him. Oren Burks stayed on the team 4 years, and he never did anything. He never cuts 3rd-round picks.
Anybody? I know, but do you think if he cut Sean Ryan, would anyone pick him up?
No.
Based on what they've seen.
He should have never been drafted 3rd round.
No. Terrible.
And it makes me sad to watch the Chiefs last night when they had Leo Chanel, George Karlaftis, my guy, Aaron Parker, who sitting on the street, you could pick him up at wide receiver. He's not going to make the Chiefs team, which is dumb. He could be a starter on the Packers. 6'3", 210-pound monster. He's not going to. I don't know how a guy that good. When you go back and watch his film at Rhode Island, even just put him in there as like a guy for like red zone contested catch touchdowns and stuff like that. That's all you got to do. But he won't even make a team. And then we got what? All these little skinny runts that are on our team. I don't. Yeah.
Also, you could cut Royce Newman and you could sign him back to your practice squad.
Oh my God. You could cut Royce Newman and not sign him back to your practice squad. He's so bad.
But he's going to be. But he's going to be a starter one way or another. He's fitting into one of those starting spots. No problem.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, since we're on offensive line, I guess I didn't watch that closely, but on Andy Herman's show today, he talked about Rasheed Walker, who hasn't done anything all camp, and then I guess in the game last night looked really good.
Yeah, but again, against what level competition there?
Well, it was just some of the starters on the Chiefs last night. So
okay.
So, but he was saying he was looking great, and it's like, and I had thought they could have cut Rasheed Walker and get him back in practice squad
easily.
But the thing is, Rasheed Walker in pre-draft, like I did like 100 million pre-mock drafts before the draft this year. Rasheed Walker was going in the second round on a lot of mock drafts. So how he fell to the 7th round for the Packers to get, nobody knows. But there's got to be, if they end up cutting him, I don't see him making the practice squad. Somebody will pick him up.
You think so? I don't think so.
Yes, well, because
let's go through the offensive line then. Bruce wants to talk about Jake Hansen. They're all over Jake Hansen.
Okay,
he's going to start too. 67, yeah.
He was terrible last night. He got his butt kicked. He missed blocks left and right.
Aaron Rodgers said he's transformed his body, and he's so proud of him.
That's great. So he looks nice. Awesome. That doesn't mean he can play. You think B.J. Raji, was going to win a winning suit competition? No. But he can play good. I don't care what you look like in the freaking when you're wearing shorts. I care about how you do on the field.
Do you know? Listen to this. The Packers only have 2 guards listed on their whole team.
Well, that's because they got a bunch of guard tackles.
That's right. And they have Myers, who's listed as a center guard. Somehow, and Hansen's
never going to play guard ever.
Hansen's only listed as a center, but they're playing guard a lot. They got to update this. They got to update their website. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other offensive line guys. I think Rasheed Walker could be let go, and I think they could get him back if they want. I think Royce could just be let go. I think Sean Ryan, like I said, you could cut his ass, and you could sign him back to the practice squad if you think there's something there. I mean, you like the size, 6'5", 321. Great. He's only 21 years old. Maybe you can whip him into shape, but he looks like he needs to be whipped into shape before he's going to do anything because he looks slow. His legs look heavy. He doesn't look powerful for that much size. It's very disappointing. He's a very disappointing pick at this point. But they are raving about Caleb Jones. And I know he's made a couple of bigger, noticeable blocks, but he also is getting whipped up pretty frequently too. So I don't even think Caleb Jones should be on the team. I mean, I don't know. I think the only guys worth keeping to me are Yash, Bakhtiari, Jenkins, Runyon, Myers, and
Zach Tom.
Yeah, Zach Tom. And that's it. I wouldn't keep anybody else, even though I know you got to keep some more.
You got to keep some more.
Actually, I like that Michael Menet, the French guy from Penn State.
Yeah, but he was in their third.
I know.
They had Hansen playing center at the second team and him playing for the third team. So he's not going to make. He's not.
I know he's not getting a shot. Bald guys always get screwed. Anyway, okay, so that's some offensive line stuff. I really do think that though about Sean Ryan and some of those guys. Anyway,
it's an interesting look at what teams do, especially the Packers.
Right.
Is how they value their high picks even when they don't produce. And which then is detrimental to the team's success. Jordan Love is the number one reason of this, but there's been other like Oren Burks, Mariah Rodgers last year, and it could be Sean Ryan this year. He makes a team and he never plays all year. Last year, Vernon Scott. I almost said Vernon Reed, the guitar player from Cult Person that was that in Living Color.
Yeah,
but no, Vernon Scott.
Just Living Color, the band Living Color.
Yeah, Living Color.
The show in Living Color.
Well, that was a great show because it had the guy with the, I don't know, there's a lot of good stuff. Damon Wayans was the man on that show, and Jim Carrey, super funny. Anyway, okay, I lost my train of thought now. What am I talking about?
That's all right.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Up to 16. Hey, Butter's here. How you doing, Butter?
Hey,
Butter.
What was I saying?
I don't remember, but I do.
They kept Vernon Scott on the roster all year. Never played it down on a single down for him. He was on 53 all year.
Yep. Important.
Now, the reason why you can do that is because of the rules this year and last year, where out of the 53, right, only 46 can dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could pull guys from the practice squad up to the active roster to dress 3 times during the season.
Right.
And they did that a bunch last year, where there were guys who were on the practice squad and they brought them up, to the active roster 3 times or whatever to cover things. And that's why a lot of people, Andy Herman, I'm just mentioning him again. I gotta say one thing: we give crap to Andy Herman every now and again because he says some weird stuff. He's a super awesome, likable guy. He knows his stuff. He works really hard. Out of any Packer source for news and that sort of stuff, I trust him more than anybody out there. So if you don't listen to Pack a Day podcast, you're dumb. Listen to him. He's awesome. I'm just saying that right off the bat. I get a lot of my information from him because I don't know. I live in Minnesota. What the hell do I know?
He's a little boring though. But I mean,
Well, who cares? He's a nice guy. I like him.
That's
He's
right.
a nice guy.
But he did. I think over the offseason, he said crazier stuff because he was just running out of stuff to say. Anyway, continue on.
I was just saying. Well, back to he was saying a lot of things about like some of the defensive outside rushers and the running backs to just let them all go, and then whoever doesn't get signed, sign those guys to the practice squad, and then you can bring them up and play three or four games off the practice squad before Kalen Hill comes back as far as running back goes and that kind of stuff. Because they don't have to be on the. So if you're willing to let these guys go,
Just an update. We do need to get caught up here. We're 30 minutes into the show, and I'm not quite at 20 yet. So
does that count as 1 or is that like 3?
That's 3 more. I pulled the lever 3 times.
Okay.
21.
Sometimes that could have been just 1. I've had some that are just like that.
I mean, no question about that. Okay, let me ask you this. So here's the thing that threw me on the Packers website. I was trying to look. I almost missed Zach Tom because he is the only Packer in the whole thing listed as OL, as offensive lineman. So apparently they don't designate a spot for him. He's just offensive lineman Zach Tom. So
that's because he plays all freaking 5 spots.
Right. We're gonna keep him too.
He was playing left guard yesterday.
Right. We're going to keep him.
And I've seen him play center. I've seen him play left tackle. I've seen him play right tackle. I think the only thing I haven't seen him play is right guard. That's the only thing I haven't seen him play.
I would just love for them to not waste a roster spot on Sean Ryan. I know he was a 3rd round pick, but my goodness.
It's going to happen.
He's terrible.
I don't know if he's terrible. He's just not.
He's not ready. He is absolutely not ready for the NFL.
When we were at practice watching the offensive line's individual team drills, he did not look impressive. He did not look good. He didn't move well. He looked slow. He looked, I don't know. I mean, guys that looked impressive were Manet looked good. Myers looked good. Yash was pretty good. And sometimes he had a little bit off.
Yeah, he had a rough day that day.
Runyon Bunyan was solid.
Yep.
But, and Zach Tom looked good. Rasheed Walker didn't practice. Caleb Jones looked okay. There's another guy of 70. I don't know what he was, but he was okay.
Yeah. I think he's cut already. Let's go back to linebackers because you brought him up. Not nice. Let's go back to linebackers because you brought him up here. Transition. That's 3 more. So we transition with the fart gun helps us transition. Farting always helps with everything, but also transitions. Okay. Yep. So here's we already mentioned like Chris Barnes, inside backers. We talked about OJ McDuffie. He's going to make the team. Campbell, Walker.
Yep.
So they're likely to keep.
Gone.
Ty Summers is out. He looks so pathetic. It's just so pathetic again on last night. I'm like, dude, oh my God. I don't know what happened to the guy. But the outside backers are really interesting. Jonathan Garvin has made the team the last 2 years. 7th round pick out of Miami 3 years ago. And he shows me nothing. He should not be on the team this year. I would much rather like to see, of course, we got Gary and we got Preston Smith and Enigbare is an interesting guy. And then Ladarius Hamilton. I want to see those 4 guys for sure. But Jonathan Garvin, it's been nice. You're really not that impactful. You can go bye-bye. Nalei is too small. I mean, he's 229 pounds. I mean, he's tiny. And then at outside backer, you can't play that. I like Enigbare 6'4", 258. You also got Hamilton 6'2", 261, a beefier guy. Okay. I like those dudes in there. And those 4 are good for me. I don't know if we need more than that. If we need a 5th one, I'm kind of intrigued by Ray Wilburn a little bit, even though he's a little on the small side. But kind of one of those versatile guys that could be an inside or an outside helper guy. But Ty Summers, you're 6'1", 241. You'd be nice to keep on the team with your size and your speed, but you just play like trash, dude. I don't know what happened to you. God, I'm so disappointed.
He's not aggressive anymore.
No.
It's sad watching
Terrible.
it. It's sad watching it. But I would say, like, I think Tipa, he's
just so small.
If they're playing a true 4-3, which they don't play, because they're supposed to play a 3-4, but they actually play a 4-3, and they have outside linebackers playing the defensive end role. So when they do that, now you got a guy who normally is in a 4-3 is like 270 to 280. Now you got a guy 229 trying to hold the edge up against the 300-pound left tackle or right tackle. It doesn't happen. He gets his butt kicked all over the place. And they still play him out there. They did it last year a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It was dumb. I mean, back in the day when we had Brian, remember when Brian Williams was considered a small linebacker at 250 pounds, playing outside linebacker? Or whatever he was, 230, whatever he was. Basically the same size. But that was in a true 4-3. And he was more like a cover guy who would cover the tight end more. And it was Wayne Simmons who just beat the crap out of guys. And, and Bernardo in the middle, sneaking around with 244. Of course, I know the game was different then. I understand.
Yep.
But still, you can't expect a 229-pound guy to hold up against offensive line. And he doesn't. He doesn't do it. I don't care how good of a pass rusher he is. It just doesn't work. The other thing I like is I think they could use Quay Walker in a blitzing situations from the middle of the field more. And by doing that leaves you don't have to have as many defensive or outside linebackers. If you have two good inside linebackers, keep them in. When you go to a nickel or a dime defense, instead of going to one middle linebacker and then 4 pass rushers, maybe do 3 defensive linemen, keep your 2 linebackers in there, and they don't know where the pressure's coming from, and blitz one of them. I don't know. Just a thought. Which would then maybe you can keep some of these defensive linemen that are really good. The problem is a lot of the defensive linemen don't play special teams, at least in like punt coverage and stuff like that. They'll play on like field goal. Right. That's about it. Not punt returns and not kick returns and not.
Couple of the faster guys might be able to play on like punt return and a little kick return, but defensive linemen aren't necessarily the best blockers either because it's not kind of their forte. I mean, you can do it a little bit, but they're not all that. Although a number of the Packers' offensive linemen aren't the best blockers, so I guess it wouldn't be that much different. But anyway, that's just the truth. That's the truth. It's not a snarky comment. I mean, it is, but it's also true. So there you go. All right. All right. Now, we did have to ask about. I'm going to get into NFL Top 100 in a little bit. Take a little break from all the roster talk. But first, what about this young running back from Iowa? Rasputin keeps asking about him. Tyler Goodson. Can you cut that guy and expect to sign him back?
Well, that's another one. Andy Herman brought it up today. He said, when you look at the stats after the game, Taylor actually had a better game stats-wise than Goodson. Goodson had one awesome run, but the rest of it, he did nothing. So he had like 5 catches for like 17 yards or something. Like he didn't do anything with the ball when he caught it. Of course, that's not his fault sometimes. So here's my thinking. I don't ever want to see Goodson in the game. We're paying Aaron Jones. We got A.J. Dillon. So if we know we don't ever want to see him in the game, and I don't think he's big enough to help out his special teams at all, because he's not. Because when he went to try to get that first down and the guy shoved him, and to get his balance, his toe was stepped out of line. He couldn't get the first down on that because he's not big enough. If that was a bigger running back, he would have took the hit and would have just kept going and got the first down. He wouldn't have been shoved so far over to where he had to, collect himself. He had to step out of bounds. It's just, I think Taylor is a better special teams player. He's bigger and stronger, and I mean that's where it comes down to. But also, like Andy Herman said, you can put him on a practice squad, bring him up three games, and then Kalen Hill's back in like 6 weeks, and then he's on your team. And you never have to use a roster spot for those running backs because of the way the whole new system works after COVID.
And I thought Patrick Taylor did slim down a little bit. He's down to 217 this year, so he was more around like 225, I think, when he was first in Green Bay. So he's slimmed down. He does look a little bit quicker. I kind of want to make sure he keeps his power, but anyway, he was effective. He's a guy that knows the offense. He's been around a couple of years. It makes sense. Maybe you do get to sneak Goodson back on your roster. Maybe he clears waivers and you can get him back. He's only 5'9", 197. Now, 5'9", 197 is built still pretty well, but you're still kind of a small guy. Not quite Aaron Jones, 5'9", 208, Ben. I don't know how he does that with those skinny legs. Like, where's all the weight for Aaron Jones?
Have you seen his guns?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
That's why he tried to stiff arm that safety on that long catch and run at the end of the first half, and he thought he could do that instead of outrun him. Should have just
all right.
ran.
Last one. Not the last one of those. We have to get to 70 tonight in honor of Mom's 70th birthday. But before we head to some talk about the NFL Top 100, we'll get back to roster talk. Could the Packers cut Jordan Love and re-sign him to the practice squad?
No. Because they won't do it.
Could they go with one quarterback on their active roster and just one on the practice squad? So they can keep all those extra defensive linemen, right? All right. Let's talk about, I know it's a stupid question. Actually, it's an interesting question. Let's roll with a Goody. Let's get wild. Okay. NFL Top 100. Have you watched any of the videos, Ben? Anybody else in the chat watched any of the videos?
Yeah, I watched a couple.
All right. I watched a couple too. The first one I watched was because I saw that Micah Hyde, my good personal friend of the show, was number 50. He's back on the list. He should always be on the list. But basically, he made the list because of the insane play he made in the playoffs last year in the opening round against the Patriots. That was like, and how, like, I don't even know how he saw the ball. I mean, he looked up at the last second and he caught it. Could we have a guy that could locate the ball like him on our team? Would be so great, other than Rasul Douglas.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch that tape, when you watch that play, and you're just like, man, could you imagine if that guy was playing free safety for us instead of these idiots we've had? Clinton Puke and frickin' Savage. Good God, we had that guy. We had him. There's another guy who was on the list who was a former Packer too. Who was it? God dang, not Devontae. Trying to think of who. Shoot.
You think about it. I want to say something about Micah, because here's the thing. The guy is, and I said it when I shared the thing, and I made a post on Facebook and shared it that he made the list. And I'm like, great human being, great person in the community for the Packers. Again, they did not even offer him a contract. If they had just not drafted Clinton Dix and could have realized that you could just have played him at safety, what could have happened off of that? The chain reaction, I don't even know. But that would have been seemingly a good move to me, and I certainly would have loved to see it. And Micah should still be a Packer because he's still playing great. But what he does, ball skills, locates the ball, good return skills, just makes the right play. I mean, those are, and people talked about it in his tape. Some people were talking about his underrated athleticism in that video, but other people just said, like Mike Daniels, which is the other key part to the NFL Top 100. The best part about it was because they interviewed Mike Daniels for everybody again. And Mike Daniels is awesome. I don't think he's not going to be on the NFL Top 100, but he's a great guy to talk to.
I don't think he's on a team right now.
I know, but they had him in to talk about everybody because he's awesome and he's entertaining and he's great. So, but he just said, Mike Hyde, he's just a football player. He knows how to play this game. And he does. So give me guys that know how to play football on my football team. I would love that. And Mike McCarthy, to his credit, give him a little credit. That's what he always said about Micah Hyde.
Yep.
He always said that.
And he was right. Mike McCarthy was never right about much, but he was right about that.
Micah Hyde, such a good dude.
Ted Thompson didn't even offer him a contract.
Mom got to meet him, and that wasn't her 70th birthday, but Mom got to meet Micah Hyde too and chat with him. Mom, happy birthday. And Micah still says hello. He sent me a text today.
I don't think so.
All right. It was yesterday, but whatever. He missed your birthday by 1 day, Mom. Sorry. He does say happy birthday. Okay. So anyway, I love that about those are my 2 things. I love Micah Hyde. Actually, I got 3 things. I love Micah Hyde being on the list, number 50. Appreciate that. Great dude, great player. I love Mike Daniels being interviewed for a bunch of these things because he's so funny and entertaining. Another one is Kirk Cousins coming in at number 99. Yet Mac Jones is like what, 85 or 83?
Yep. I was going to ask Mo about that.
Come on.
Remember how Mo said, "Oh my God, please no, we don't want to draft. Oh my God, they better not draft Mac Jones." I was like, Mac Jones is good. Mac Jones is going to be good.
Is he better than Kirk Cousins though? Right now,
he's about the same. I think in his rookie year, he's going to be better than him eventually. He's a better leader.
All right.
Where's my top? Hang on.
All right. David says we hardly forced any turnovers in the preseason. That's okay, David. It's preseason is not about turnovers. Plus, the Packers rested pretty much all of their guys. Even Eric Stokes, who's only a second-year player, was not on the field. And trust me, he could use a little work locating the ball. So I'd put his ass out there in the preseason. But, anyway, it's going to look a lot different when you see all the regular guys on the field for the defense. Oh, wait, we're getting close to the... Okay. All right, we're closing in on 40. We got 35. We're halfway there, Mom. Halfway.
Just so you know, on Ben Hafeman's quarterback rankings from earlier in the year,
yes,
Kirk Cousins had a 46. Mac Jones had a 51.
Whoa! So the players agree with you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not watch the Mac Jones video to hear what the player said about him, but
I did. It was funny.
Okay. Mom, 70 today. That's 3 more, Mom. We're getting there. Well, those are my observations from that. Basically,
my observation was this.
The best part was, Mike Daniels on a bunch of videos. That was my favorite observation.
Out of the top 100, I haven't seen the top 20 yet. I don't know if that's out or not.
Is Aaron Jones in? Is he make the list at all? He didn't make the list at all.
He's not there, but there's a bunch of running backs that aren't better than him that made the list for some
reason. I know. I noticed that. I saw some of the running backs lower on the list. I'm like, oh, okay, where's Aaron Jones coming up? And then I didn't see any Aaron Jones. And I'm like, well, he can't be ahead of these guys. That seems... No Aaron Jones?
No Aaron Jones.
Wow. Okay.
Well, he didn't have any big plays. Oh, he did have big plays last year. The problem was he didn't score touchdowns on them, and they led to field goal misses by Mason Crosby. Oh wait, that happened twice.
Crosby.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mason Crosby sucks. Anyways, back to what I was going to say was there's only one guy so far in the top 100, the 100 through 21, and that was Devondre Campbell. And when you watch his video, there was like one guy that talked about him, and he was like, yeah, Devondre Campbell got paid. And that was about it. And that's about it. I agree. I don't know if he's the top 100 player, but I think it's funny because I'm pretty sure Jair Alexander was going to be in the top 20. Dave Bakhtiari's not going to be in the top 20. Kenny Clark sure as hell ain't going to be in the top 20.
Oh, come on.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to have one guy in the top 20, and it's Aaron Rodgers, and that's it. Yet all I hear is that Jair Alexander is the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's not even on the top 100. Now, he got hurt last year, but if he's considered one of the best corners in the league, you'd think he would at least get in there. So what does that say? He just got paid. He's the highest paid corner, or he was for like a day or whatever.
What if they? What if Rasul made such an impression on the players that he's all of a sudden in the top 20?
I doubt it. Rasul's not on. He should.
Usually it's like a year late, kind of that it's kind of like.
Well, that's why it's funny that Devondre Campbell is there because
right.
The only guy who talked about him was I think it was Demario Davis.
No, Levante David.
Okay, yeah. It was somebody. Yeah, it was a guy from Tampa Bay, not from the Saints. And he was just like, yeah, I always liked him when he was at Atlanta. And that's it. Like he was the only guy who talked. So, and a lot of times they'll they'll make you talk about guys. I'm wondering if maybe the Packers didn't. It seems like a lot of times there's a lot of Packers in the videos for guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if maybe this year, maybe they just didn't have that many Packers in the videos. And because of that, they didn't get that many votes. I don't know.
Well, most of them aren't really that great at talking or interviewing or talking about stuff. So they had to get some ex-Packers like Mike D in there. Mike D's the best. They should just have Mike Daniels talk about everybody he played against and say what he thought. Although he did say Kirk Cousins was fast or something at one point. It was really funny, I thought. Didn't he say Kirk Cousins was fast or hard to?
I didn't watch Kirk Cousins one.
You got to watch it because Mike
Daniels almost did like every video though because he was fast. They should honestly have him be just like the host.
He's so great. Oh, Mike Daniels. I wish I would have met money for that. I wish I would have met him too. He's also from Iowa. There's this trend with guys from Iowa. I don't know what the deal is, but man, they put out some pretty good football players. All right, David wants to know. He said we hardly forced any turnovers. I told him not to worry about it. Says, do y'all think Davante Adams is the best receiver in the NFL? Let's answer David's question. Ben, what do you think?
Not even close.
Not even close.
He's not even a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
Wow.
Sorry, David. If you're
I don't fan. What? That just hurts Ephraim right here. You just hurt your nephew. It was his favorite Packer before he left.
I don't care. He's not that good. You know how I know he's not that good? Because we just picked up a guy in the draft in the 4th round who's pretty much Davante Adams. So if we could just find a guy in the 4th round who's pretty much Davante Adams, how does that make Davante Adams a top receiver in the NFL? Just because he gets the ball thrown to him more than anybody else in the whole league doesn't mean he's a top receiver in the NFL.
170 targets.
What makes you top receiver in the NFL is when you're scared to death of covering him. That's what scares me. Davante Adams catches balls, runs out of bounds right away. Does that scare you? That will scare me. Davante Adams has got to do 25 juke moves to get off the line of scrimmage. Does that scare you? Don't scare me. Davante Adams catches a bunch of passes behind the line of scrimmage and then goes for 2 yards. Does that scare you? Don't scare me. So
David's with us. He agrees. That's true. Look, and
I can name 20 guys I'd rather have than Davante Adams.
Yeah.
And that's why when they traded him, I was like, thank the Lord. Now all we got to do is get rid of number 12. Oh, crap. He's still here.
Oh, Rick. Sorry, Rick.
Sorry, Rick.
Look, I watched the film I did watch that one. I didn't watch many of the top 100. I watched some of them. And I watched the Darren Waller one. And he's a lot more dynamic than Davante Adams. Like, I mean, I'd rather throw it to him 170 times than Davante Adams 170 times.
I'd rather throw to Hunter Renfrow 170 times than Davante Adams. Hunter Renfrow gets off line of scrimmage better than Davante Adams does.
170 targets, and no one else on the team had more than 65 last year.
Yeah,
I mean that's just that's just terrible.
Stupid.
How do you win MVP distributing the ball like that? That's just dumb.
I'm going to say something I never thought I'd say.
Say it.
If you would have told Ben Hafeman from 2003 that he's going to say this, he would probably smack you in the face and say, I would never say that. Don't you ever tell me I'd say that. I'm going to say it. When it comes to quarterbacks in the history of the Packers, I would take Brett Favre over Aaron Rodgers any day of the week. Any day of the week. I am a bigger fan of Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers. And anybody who knows me knows that I freaking hated Brett Favre. But there's one big difference. And it was proven this past week. As I don't know if people remember, there was a throw that Jordan Love had in the game against the Saints.
Did you hear it?
I heard it, and there was two. It was a double covered move. The guy came, I think it was the 4th round pick. What's his face? What is his name? God dang it! Oh my God!
Dobbs.
Devontae Adams 2.0. What's his name?
Dobbs.
Okay. Dobbs comes back on a comeback route, and there's two defenders trailing him, and Jordan Love, before he even made his break, already threw it. And it was a great pass. Dobbs caught it for the first down. And Aaron Rodgers said that was a great pass. And he's like, I'd never throw it. I'd never throw that ball. Exact words from Aaron Rodgers. I would never throw that ball. Even though it was a completed pass for a first down. How can you be a 4-time MVP, considered one of the greatest passers of all time, but you can't throw a ball to a guy on a comeback route with two trailing defenders because you're afraid you're going to throw a pick? Aaron Rodgers? And that's why, Packer fans, we go 9 consecutive drives in the playoffs with no freaking points against the 49ers team who couldn't even move the goddamn ball because our defense destroyed them. But everybody wants to blame the special teams. No. Aaron freaking Rodgers deserves some freaking blame. And he never takes it. And he never takes chances. And that's why I will never, ever be a fan of him again. And it's hard to be a Packer fan. And I told Jason before we started, I didn't want to do this crap anymore. After I heard that today, or this last week when he had his press conference, and he said, I would never make that throw. I would never make that throw? You're supposed to be the greatest passer of all time? You would never make that throw? What the crap is that? Make the damn throw. When your season's on the line, you make the damn throw.
Matt Stafford would make that throw.
You bet your ass he would.
And
Pat Mahomes would do it.
Yep.
I'll tell you that.
Old Aaron Rodgers in the early days. When
oh, yeah. There's so many awesome passes he'd make back then.
When he used to throw double-digit picks sometimes.
But now it's about his legacy. His legacy as the guy who's thrown the least amount of interceptions in the history of all time. And that is his legacy, because he can never be the greatest quarterback of all time because Tom Brady has that. So
but that's what they're all marveling about, Ben. That's right. What I just heard him again. Tim Hasselbeck, everybody. Look at the last 5 years. Oh, this many touchdowns, 119 touchdowns, and only like 30 interceptions, and blah blah blah, whatever the hell it is. And they're just amazed at it because no one can do that. Well, no one can do that because those guys also play to win. They'll also take the chance when they have to, and Aaron Rodgers won't. And you're right. And Chris Sims said, when Chris Sims did his reviews and like marked him down in the last couple of years, he's like, "You're Aaron Rodgers, throw it in there," and he won't do it.
He won't do it. And he admitted
Jordan Love,
he admitted it.
Right. And also, what did I tell you? Or what did I say to you? I'm going to ask you if you watched the QB School, right? Because the QB School with was TJ Rubley? No. What's his name?
JT O'Sullivan.
JT O'Sullivan. Dang it, not TJ Rubley. No, JT O'Sullivan. Anyway,
you got four. He was a pack. JT O'Sullivan was a Packer for like a week or something.
I know, they both were. But anyway, the point is he does a great job with it. And he showed tape from Love, and he was talking about Jordan Love's, game, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you see some good stuff here, but then look at these. He's not throwing these slant windows. He's like, that's a big slant window. Yep. Throw the ball, blah, blah, blah. And then what happened early on in the game against the Chiefs? Jordan Love was looking like Aaron Rodgers, throwing it late to the flat to the running back where they get nowhere, and then they're out of bounds. And then what did he start doing? Then he started zipping it in spots over the middle, throwing it, rifling it down the middle of the field, getting 16 yards. Amari Rodgers over the middle. This guy here, Dobbs, whatever. And they started picking up chunk yardage. And I said to you, I think Jordan Love just said a big F you to Aaron Rodgers. I'm not playing your way anymore. I'm throwing over the middle. And it worked.
Listen, I hate being a freaking Aaron Rodgers hater because it makes me conflicted. I'm a Packer fan. I'm a huge Packer fan. And that's part of the reason why I get so mad. Because I think he's such a great player. Like, he could. Like, don't worry about your stupid stats. You freaking asshole. It's selfish. Honest to God, if I was his teammate, I'd be like, dude. And when you're watching film back, and if you're in the quarterback room, like if I was Jordan Love, that's the other problem. That's the other major problem with Aaron Rodgers. After Favre was gone, he never once he started playing, he never had a quarterback in that quarterback room that challenged him for playing time, number one. And number two was a veteran guy who would maybe know more than him and hold him accountable for things. Now, Tom Clemens did, so maybe he'll do it again this year. I don't know. Maybe after a game, he'll be like, dude, why didn't you throw that slant right there? The guy's open. Why didn't you do it? Why wouldn't you throw that there? Why won't you do it? And maybe this will be a different year. Maybe Tom Clemens will get on him and be like, dude, do you want to win games or do you want to pad your stats? What are we doing here? And I know it's about a business. And having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback is going to make you money for the Packers. Because everybody thinks, well, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. No, you need a damn team to win. You need a damn team. And you need a player who will take the chance. Sometimes it doesn't work. But I'd rather see somebody go down in flames like Brett Favre, who I hated because he would go down in flames way too much, than a guy who won't even freaking start the fire. God dang, that's a great quote. I'd rather see a guy go down in flames than a guy who won't even start the fire. You can quote that. That's the difference between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
That was a lot of talking
between Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, and Mo still sends you stuff on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, did you see that? He sent me a thing.
It's all focused on what?
Josh Allen's on there, and freaking Matt Ryan's on. All these other good quarterbacks. I'm like, dude, it's dumb. Just
because they'll throw the
ball
take a
where
chance.
They gotta throw it. Yeah, because they're on crappy teams. They have to.
That was a lot of talking with not enough fart guns, so we got to catch up there. Get 5 fart guns.
Keep track of all these farts.
I got them all. I got them all. That's 45. 46. 47.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Again, tonight, 70 fart gun salutes. That's the big feature of the show. Mom's 70th birthday. Mom, happy birthday. We love you. Happy birthday with all the fart gun salutes. Okay. What's the other big thing? Okay, so I appreciate all that.
I'm sorry, I lost myself there.
Listen. And I've come around, like, you know how much I hated the turnovers and the dumb decisions of Favre as well, but I hate this more. It just to see this guy like winning MVPs but not doing what he needs to do to win. That's what I said last year, right? I'm like, well, Aaron Rodgers do what's needed in the playoffs when it's needed. And the answer was no, once again. So he'll do what makes him look good. He'll make the plays against crappy teams. He'll light up stats. He can win MVPs because of not throwing any picks, because of the way he plays the game. Won't take risks, won't take chances over the middle, and does something different. But will he do, when it comes down to it, will he do what he should do and what's needed in order to win? And the answer is no. So unless that changes, I'm not changing my expectations for the Packers as a team, even if the defense is as good as we hope it's going to be. Because at some point it's going to come down. At some point it's going to come down to, will you make this throw in a tight window? And if you're not going to, you're going to give the other team another chance.
Think back to the Super Bowl when they won.
Mm-hmm.
Both of his passes to Greg Jennings, the touchdown, and then the one late that he needed to have on third down, were crazy freaking passes that most people can't complete. And he had to take them, and he took the shots both times. And the Packers needed it because they almost lost that game. And they even got a bunch of turnovers from Ben Kraplesberger and Mendenhall or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
they got 3 freaking turnovers, and they still barely won. So that same guy who took both those awesome throws and both those awesome chances in that game won't throw to an open. I mean, it's pretty much open. There was 2 defenders there, but they were trailing him. They were trailing Dobbs, but he would never make that throw. He's just not the same player. He's not the same player.
And his other comments really bothered me too. Watch that interview. That was like a 20-minute interview. I haven't watched many of his stuff because I knew what it was going to be, but this one was interesting. Because he just comes out and says it. He's like, Yeah, there's the offense on paper, and then there's the offense you play with
Yeah.
me, and you got to get to. I'm like the 202 professor, so they got to learn the other stuff from the other guys, and then they learn how to play with me.
Yeah,
And
and
I
somebody
like,
asked me, like, well, wouldn't it have been better if you were, they said it again, like, wouldn't it be good if you were here to work with these young receivers back in mini camps and OTAs? And he was like, oh, no, they got to learn the offense then so that I can make it completely freaking different when I show up. That makes no damn sense.
if
No,
you're if you're a rookie, if you're a young player, if you're a new player to this team, I mean, how hard you got to make it for those guys. I just, and the other part is this, and I'll just say it. Now I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this one here. I've said similar things, but this is going to be a little bit different slant. So Aaron Rodgers talked about this in that interview. He talks about it all the time about how, he wants his guys to do what he wants, know all those checks, see the game the way he sees it, everything else. So number one, there's the play in their mind, and then they got to do all this other stuff that he wants them to do. And then only screwed up one time. And then when he tells them, oh, you can't do that, here's the fix, then they got to never screw it up like that again, or he's going to, cast him aside or not throw him the ball or put him in the doghouse, whatever. But so he has all of these demands on the way his receivers have to play, just to play with him, to play the way he wants to play, not the way the coach wants to play, not the way the offense is designed, the way he wants to play. Aaron Rodgers, I want to play football like this, where I can dissect everything, adjust everything, and get my receivers to do exactly what I want them to do. So they have to know what I'm thinking at all times in order to do that, to be on the field with me, Aaron Rodgers. Not, I'm never going to adjust to anyone else. They must adjust to play with me. So that's all of that is set. All of that is his demand of the guys that play with him. And he's had guys that have adapted, have been used to that, and all of that for the last 12 years, and it hasn't worked. His way of playing football hasn't resulted in a championship. So you tell me, should this be the demand of every receiver that comes into the Packers locker room to have to adjust to play the way Aaron Rodgers wants to play offense when it hasn't worked? When it counts? Go ahead and answer that question to yourself, honestly, whether you're a Rodgers fan or not.
Terrible. Terrible farts.
That's 50. Mom, we're almost there. 20 more to go. And Rodgers is tough. Here's a High Plains Drifter. Thanks for the comment. Fire put on an entertaining show. Always tough as nails. Rodgers is pretty damn tough too. It's just that he doesn't want to take risks, and that's part of the gig. Okay. You got a closing thing on Rodgers. You got anything else to say about what he said? I just hate it. I hate I think it's too much. Football is hard enough. Well, and you're making it way harder on these guys.
The thing that I would say is this. The Patriots have won a lot of games over the last 20-some years. And a lot of people would say, oh, it's Tom Brady and it's whatever, and it's Bill Belichick and blah, blah, blah. I would say this. What the Patriots always seem to do is get the most out of whatever players they have. They know what their strengths are. Like when you watch the Patriots defense, there are certain guys that can only do certain things. And Bill Belichick only has them do those certain things. And they come off the field when it's not time for something else to happen. You know what I mean? And on offense, if you can't do a certain thing, you're not in there, And, some guys like James White or whatever. Okay, great catching the ball out of the backfield. That's what we use him for. This guy does this. This guy does that. The problem with Aaron Rodgers wanting everybody to adjust to him is maybe their strengths aren't that, but they have strengths in other places that aren't being utilized because Rodgers won't let it happen. So Matt LaFleur can't even coach the team to its own strengths because his quarterback won't let it happen. How does that work? If I was the coach, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be like, dude, you know what? This guy can't catch. This guy's not good at running this route. This guy's not good at this. Why? But you know what? He's really good at this other thing that you don't ever want to do. But it'll help us win if we have this guy do this other thing. Aaron Rodgers said he hates the offense. I saw an interview with him with the Barstool Sports guys. He says, I don't like Matt LaFleur's offense. I like the old offense. Why? Because he says there's too much moving around, this and that. He likes it better when it's one-on-one matchups. Win the one-on-one matchups. Oh, the Mike McCarthy, did that work too good? No, it didn't work. Unless you have outstanding freaks like Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings, who are awesome, who would get open all the damn time, or James Jones, who seemed to never get tackled because he just ran right through all the tackles and nobody tackled him. But we don't have guys like that anymore. Even Devontae wasn't that good as doing all those things. And that was the difference back then. And I think this is part of the problem with Devontae, real quick, is back when we had Greg and Double D and Jones and Jordy, those guys knew, man, if I get this ball, I got to score. Like, I'm not running out of bounds. I'm going all the way to the house because if I don't do it, freaking Jordy's going to get the touchdown. Or Jennings is going to get the touchdown. Or Double D is going to get the touchdown. I'm taking it all the damn way. And when you look at Aaron Rodgers passing, we went over this a few, 2 months ago. I went over his passes of over 30 yards or touchdown passes of over 30 yards or whatever it is over his career. And almost all of them happened in the first part of his career. And at the end, it was like nothing. Where's that stat? I had it somewhere.
I think it was like first 7 years versus the last 7 years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways,
like 40,
I had it somewhere.
You had like 43 or 44 or something like that in the first 7 years and only 19 in the last 7 years.
Yeah, because it was, I saw a stat that had the most quarterbacks with the most 30-yard touchdown passes over the last 5 years or whatever it was. And Kirk Cousins was number one.
Number 99 on the players list.
Yeah. And I was like, Kirk Cousins, number one. What the hell? and out of the top 10, Aaron Rodgers wasn't even in there. No, it was the past 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, 7 years.
I don't know. Yeah. And Kirk Cousins was number one, and Aaron Rodgers was not even in the top 10 of touchdown passes of over 30 yards or whatever it was. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
He's got to have at least 7 MVS.
Does that would include Cousins'
he has
time
8
in
MVS.
Washington? Yeah.
So
11 to other players. I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, one other thing that was clear and evident. That's 3 more. One other thing that was clear and evident, and the Packers should learn from their previous mistakes, is that if they get a guy named Micah in the roster, keep that dude on the team.
Yes.
He only came in a couple weeks ago, but he's shown up. Keep that dude on the team. Who was the other guys? Will Redmond. We had to keep him on the team for how many years? We got to keep these other safety guys that were terrible. Like, this guy's actually showed up and making plays. Like, keep his ass on the team, please.
And play him.
Yeah.
It's not just keeping them. See, that's the other problem. They have these guys who flash and show aggressiveness on defense, and they make the team.
But then they're like, these are our starter guys. No, we know our starters.
Yeah.
You can't work your way into that because we got Savage and no. Right? I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of the case.
No, you're right. But I mean, but Savage could be okay. I mean, I don't know. He's not bad. He's just everything about it. He does a lot of good things. So I want to make it clear. Like, same thing like with Rodgers. As much as we hate him, he's still great. He just doesn't take chances. But like Savage, like, he doesn't know where the ball is. He's got issues. He's not as aggressive. He's not as good a tackler. He's not a very tough guy. He's kind of a skinny little run. Or Abernathy is a tough guy. I don't know. I just like him. It's physical. When you watch practice and when you watch the games, preseason games, it's the same thing with Chris Slayton, where he just looks like a guy who's making play. It's just the eye test is, wow, that guy's making play. That guy's doing something. That guy's aggressive. That guy's getting off blocks, right? And when it comes to Abernathy, it's like this guy reads this pass, and when he sees that it's a pass, he attacks where the ball's going. He doesn't wait until the ball's catched and then attack. He attacks as soon as the ball is passed, so that by the time the ball gets there, he's already making the play. And that's the difference between what Abernathy's done over the last 2 games and what other safeties on the Packers do. The other guys are more reactive. It's like they wait and then the ball gets caught and then they start moving or they start to tackle, or I don't know what it is. Where Abernathy attacks, and that should have been a pick the other day. And he had an awesome play that in the week before where he just goes after stuff. And it's like an eye test thing. And like Jack Heflin, everybody, he made that play on 4th down. Yeah, he didn't get blocked. For some unknown reason that nobody blocked him. He still had to run in there and tackle the running back who, could have easily made him juke him out of shorts. I'll tell you this much. I've seen Kenny Clark miss tackles like that before. Jack Heflin did miss it.
Savage weighs 3 pounds more than Abernathy, by the way, but he certainly
he doesn't play like it.
No, he doesn't. Abernathy's their lightest safety at 195, but he plays stronger than all these other guys pretty much. It's crazy.
He plays like Chuck Cecil out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that bad. He's not leading with his head.
No. And another interesting thing looks like that Levitt guy is going to be hung on to one way or another. He's not going to be on the active roster, but Bisaccia wants him so much for the special teams that he's definitely going to be somewhere on the team. So that's another safe. It's another safety spot eventually. And they love Tariq Carpenter. And how many safeties are they going to keep? Just look at the safeties here. Okay.
Well,
so you got,
here's what I hope they do. I hope that they'll sign Levitt to the active roster because they have to, and then immediately put him on injury reserve. And then they'll cut Abernathy, but then sign him right away to the 53. So he can play special teams, and because he's aggressive enough. I just like him. I think he's a great player. I think he's much better than any of the other guys they have. Though 30, what's his name? That guy's pretty good. He seems to make plays every now and again. But I still think Abernathy just has he's like the dog in him or whatever, like they say. Like he's just out there like doing stuff. He's playing. He's making plays. He's a Micah Hyde. You see it and you go. As soon as you see it, go. Go to the ball. Just do it. Don't hesitate.
Yeah, Sean Davis is the other guy you're talking about.
He looks pretty good, but
they're all excited about him, and he's doing fine. He's doing well. Innis Gaines had an injury the other night, so and on top of that, he hasn't looked great.
No.
None of these other guys are really showing up. So it's interesting, right? Because you got Amos and you got Savage. Hold on. Okay, so you got Amos and you got Savage. So that's 2 safeties right there. That's 3 fart guns. Salutes. We're getting closer, Mom, to 70 for Mom's 70th birthday. Sean Davis would be 3. Okay, Levitt would be 4. And then they love Tariq Carpenter, and he's such a big body type. He's the rookie from Georgia Tech, 6'3", 230. So that's 5.
Well, here's my thinking. What if 6'3", 230?
And that doesn't even include Sean Davis.
I understand that.
How many safeties? I don't know.
But what if 6'3", 230 takes the 6'3", 229 Tipa Nalii spot? So they only keep 4 pass rushers. And by doing that, they're able to keep Carpenter as a special teams guy at 6'3", 230. He's listed as a safety, but he never plays safety because he sucks at it. He just plays special teams. And because of that,
I can see that.
It's almost like they have to add, instead of having linebacker spot, blah, 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 or pass rusher spot, maybe you have special teams guy. And he's just special teams guy. Like he never plays on the field, but he makes the 46 active roster on game day because he's playing special teams. And because of that, you're able to put, cut Tipa, cut Garvin, cut, maybe even Hamilton, and bring him back on the practice squad. And you can activate those guys up the practice squad every now and again because none of them are really that great. And you really don't want to see him on the field that much anyways. I'd rather have Gary and Preston. And here's the other thing I think that hopefully will happen. We shouldn't have to give the defense rest if they're doing 3 and outs all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like if this defense is as good as it's supposed to be, and they're getting 3 and outs all the time. Do we need to give rest to Preston and Gary? Like, you know what I mean? The only time they're going to have to rest is if they fail, if they suck. And the hopes that there'll maybe only be 1 or 2 at the most long drives, unlike last year where it was like a million long drives until Rasul Douglas showed up and started getting picks. So I don't know. So maybe they can get away with having less pass rushers because they'll be playing better, total defense.
I hope so. We are now at 60, 10 away from the magical 70 number for Mom and her 70 Farkon salutes in honor of her 70th birthday today. So I really like that. And I said before, I mean, the outside backers, I'd only keep the 4. I'd only keep the 4 for sure. I mean, Gary's going to have to play a bunch of snaps, heavy load. That's fine. He's young. You want him to earn it anyway. You want him to earn that big contract that's coming. Preston's getting a little older, but that's why you have the other guys that can rotate in. Okay. And you want to see what Enigbari can do. He's an intriguing rookie. He's shown flashes. And then Hamilton's a solid dude. So between those 4, working those guys in for subbing Preston a little more often and Gary once in a while, I like that. And the other thing that would be interesting is you could go big more often if you kept more of those rangy D tackles that can move and D ends that can move. So think about playing defense that way. Like the NFL has become so much about the edge rushers and all these edge rushers and the NASCAR package and the other blah, 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 blah. What if you can rush and play the run well with these bigger guys that can move and do things, and you can play more 2 defensive tackles and more true 3 defensive tackle, D lineman lineups, because you have enough of them on the team that are talented and you can rotate them and keep them fresh like the Packers did the last time they won the damn Super Bowl, because they had all those dudes that they could cycle in and they'd kick everybody's butt because Cullen Jenkins was a monster and then all those other guys stayed fresh. What about that?
They really didn't. They only had like a 4 or 5 man rotation at defensive line, and they played a true 3-4 then.
But that's all you need.
And they also only had 3 guys that played at edge rusher. Really, I mean, it was Zombo and who's the guy? Eric Walden.
Yeah,
and then Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
So I mean, they really didn't play anybody else at edge rusher during that time. So I mean, it's not like you need them all. It's just if somebody gets hurt, okay, well, you sign some random guy. Is he going to be that much worse than what you got sitting there with Garvin and Tipa and all these guys? No, they're the same. Because guess what? There's going to be a whole bunch of guys cut this week that are probably way better than these guys all throughout the league at edge rusher or whatever. So I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to just keep 4 edge rushers, keep 4 inside backers. And the other problem is the corner problem. So, and we're also talking about Rasul Douglas playing safety in practice this week.
It's perplexing based on all these safeties that we just talked about that are actually pretty good.
Well, see, but that's the thing is, I don't know if they're like Abernathy's good at attacking, but is he great at playing deep safety? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine Rasul Douglas playing free safety back there?
Yeah, he'd be great.
Insane. He'd be amazing. And if it's a way to, and maybe it only happens in base defense, when they're playing the actual 3-4, and they only got 4 defensive backs in there, and Rasul Douglas is playing safety because he's one of your best players, and just to get him on the field and take Savage off, even if he's healthy, take Savage off and have Rasul back there. He's not as fast though. That's the only thing. If somebody gets past somebody, it could be an issue. But
yeah, but we've seen Savage take bad angles even though he's fast, or not make a tackle even though he's fast enough to get there, but he can't make the play. So, I mean, it's not that much different. I mean, I think here, let's go over the corners real quick. I mean, they had a lot of high buzz about Rico Gafford. I think he's kind of leveled off and not that impressive.
I don't think he's great.
Jean Charles, I don't really think he should necessarily make the team, but he's a guy who can get back on the practice squad. Keyshawn Nixon, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. He's been hurt or not playing enough or whatever. And some of these other guys, I mean, Keandre Thomas and and KB Nento. I don't think it's happening.
No.
So you got Jair, you got Russell Douglas, you got Stokes, and I guess one of these other guys is going to be in the mix for sure.
I honestly think they should just keep 5.
Yeah, probably,
and that's it.
And keep an extra safety instead, and then
safety.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Because, I mean, I don't think the corners are that great, and I think if you let them go, no one's going to sign them. Bring them back in the practice squad. Bring them up if you need to. If somebody gets hurt.
We didn't even talk about. We talk about this other stuff. We didn't even talk about the tight ends yet. We didn't even talk about the wide receivers yet. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. Let's talk about tight ends and wide receivers next week, so the show doesn't go forever and ever. We'll talk. Well, no, because they're gonna make cuts. Okay, let's get through it. All right, tight ends. Ben, who should make this team a tight end? Because guys we thought were gonna be like front runners now, Tyler Davis has had a terrible camp and terrible preseason. So they still like him. They said his practices are good. They said his practices are good, but in the game he stinks it up. He's been making a lot of terrible plays.
He got his butt kicked on the first punt return against the Packers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he was doing out there. And that's the other thing. Special teams is so bad that Kansas City preseason game, I almost want to barf, but
I know. He's had drops. He's had missed blocks. He just hasn't looked good. But he is a former quarterback. He is 6'4", 252, and he is a guy that has got some pretty decent speed, which they like. So they kind of see him as like a Robert Tonyan 2.0, a little bit bigger nose. But that's why they like him so much. But you got DeGuara. He's going to be on the team. They love Sadies. He's going to be on the team. You got Tonyan. So you're telling me you're keeping those 4? You already got rid of Daphne. So you're keeping all 4 of those guys?
I would only keep 3. I would get rid of either Big Dog or Davis, because I don't know. It depends what they want to do. If you want to make Aaron Rodgers happy, then keep Mercedes. If you want to,
well, they're going to keep Mercedes.
Well, then that's what you do. Just keep 3. Why have more than that?
But Davis could be. I mean, do you think Davis could? I think Davis could probably clear and be re-signed to the practice squad, which is with as terrible as he's been.
Maybe. Probably, yes. But I mean, you can't put everybody in the damn practice squad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true. But I think
crying aloud,
they probably shouldn't keep more than 3 tight ends on the problem is 53.
We don't know what Tynan's going to come back as. He looks good in practice running around. We saw him the other day when we were there, but he wasn't doing anything but running around. So Can he hold up against the block? What happens the first time he gets tackled? What happens the first time he makes a cut? Is his knee going to be weird? We don't know. In the game, you have to keep 4 guys just because of that, because you don't know what's happening with Tunyon. So because that, you have, because DeGuara can't play in line. He's only 230 and he's 6'2", 230. He'll get his butt kicked.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird prospect there. He's not a true tight end. So
you need to keep Davis because of the. So yeah, you got to keep him. You got to keep Mercedes. You got to keep 4 at least.
Yeah.
But I would keep more than that because you can't afford to. You need to keep just the 4. And that's it.
And then let's finish with wide receivers. Everyone talks about wide receivers. Oh my God, how terrible they are. Oh, there's so many bad guys. But now all of a sudden there's all this competition and we don't even know who they're all going to keep. I mean, Aaron Rodgers knows who he says gets to play, which is Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins, and Alan Lazard. Those are the guys. And after that, it's other guys. So those are your top 3, according to Aaron Rodgers. Dobbs is flashed and shown, so maybe he is going to get to be on the field, we've been told. So that's 4. Christian Watson was a high price pick, so that's 5. And Juwan Winfrey has played pretty well. Toure has played pretty well. Do you can't keep both of those guys, can you? You got to cast aside one.
I think it comes down to who is helping on special teams more. Out of those 2 guys. And I don't think Winfrey has ever played special teams for reasons I don't know why. I can't remember him ever doing a kick return or doing anything like being a gunner on anything. I don't know if Samari Toure, I know I've seen him do returns. I don't know if I've ever seen him be a gunner or any type of, punt coverage or kickoff coverage or anything. But
oh wait, I forgot about Amari Rodgers. I didn't even say him.
oh, he's got to make it.
He's got to make it
third
too.
round pick. Goody don't cut third round picks, just like Sean.
He's got to make it too. So now do you even have room for either one of those guys, or do you? You got to make room for one more of those guys because
that's how you only keep 2 running backs, because you're going to have 7 freaking eight wide receivers.
When the wide receivers, they're not even good. They're so terrible. The whole
and they won't even see the field because Aaron Rodgers won't throw to them. So let's keep 7 receivers, and Aaron Rodgers is only going to throw to 2 guys. But sure, let's keep all 7. And when we get our best players on the field, we're going to have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on the field at all times. We should have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on the field every play. Period.
So it really
doesn't matter any of those receivers. I don't want to ever see any of them on the field. I want to see Randall Cobb once in a while. I want to see Lazard. And I want to see Christian Watson running fast.
Right.
And that's it. I don't want to see Sammy Watkins. I don't want to see Dobbs because he drops the ball too much. I don't want to see Winfrey, Toure, or Amari Rodgers. None of them. I want to see Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Robert Tonyan, Lazard, and Sammy Watkins. No, Christian Watson running fast. That's it. Those are the 5 guys I want to see in the field. Period. That's it. Your 5 best players. Your 5 best players. That's the 5 best. Even though Christian Watson, I haven't even seen him do anything. But apparently he's fast and he's tall. So just run him straight as fast as he's MVS. That's it. Run him straight. Yep. That's it.
Stretch the D. Stretch it for sure. Zero says, I find your lack of faith in our wide receivers disturbing. I just think it's hilarious how everyone talked about how horrible the wide receivers were and this terrible blah, blah, blah. What are we going to do? And now we're going to freaking keep 7 damn wide receivers. Oh, it's so stupid.
Well, it's kind of like when you play fantasy football and you don't know who to start because you've got a bunch of crappy or like average crappy guys.
But I mean, look,
and then you start the wrong one, of course, because and you got a guy on your bench who scored 23 freaking points on fantasy points, and of course the guy you started got you 2. That happens to be all the damn time. Well, that's what the Packers are going to do if they keep all these damn receivers. They're all guys that are going to score you 2 fantasy points, and that's it. What's the point?
But the thing is though, is if you had just the GM evaluating the roster and you didn't have to take into account your quarterback and who he wants to play with and how he likes to play and all those other factors that we talked about earlier, but then also who's Aaron Rodgers, GM, quarterback, GM, who's already determined and declared publicly Randall Cobb, and Alan Lazard, wide receiver 1, Randall, you got Cobby, you got Sammy Watkins, you got Big Giraffe, you got Elton Jenkins, looks like a pretty good offense. Big Dog in the huddle looks like a pretty good offense to me.
No, it looks like a pretty old offense.
So
that's what he should have said.
So, but if you took that out of it, if you remove that, like some of these young guys, I would keep Winfrey. I would keep Toure. They show me enough. I would keep Watson because he's so damn fast, and I would keep Dobbs. I'd keep all 4 of those guys if I could have my way.
The best. I like Toure the best out of those of Winfrey, Dobbs, and Toure. I like Toure the best because I've seen him make catches that are very difficult, and I've also seen him make the regular catch. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Winfrey, I've seen him make the regular catch, not the difficult one. And Dobbs, I've seen him make the difficult one and miss the regular easy catch a bunch of times. He's dropped a bunch of easy catches. But Toure, I think, has got the best overall concentration when the ball's in the air. But I don't think they give a crap about that because he's a 7th round pick and they don't care.
Right. And I just think, I think I would cast aside a couple of these veterans. I'd be like, Randall Cobb, we're going to keep Amari Rodgers and see you later. And Sammy Watkins, thanks for coming in and go back on your couch because like these young dudes, no, I've seen enough from them, and but you have to factor in the Aaron Rodgers stuff. So now you're going to keep those 3 guys and now you're going to cut and potentially expose 1, maybe 2 of these younger guys that you'd actually have shown you something and might be worth sticking around, keeping on the roster. But we'll see. I don't know.
Here's what I want to keep.
Really
Who's the best run blockers? That's what I want to keep. Because all I want to see is Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon getting ball all damn game long.
Well, Lazard is
run block.
Lazard's your guy. Lazard's your guy.
Just have Lazard.
I think
Let's do 2
Winfrey's
tight ends, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver. The whole freaking game.
Winfrey's a decent run blocker. He's pretty good.
Is he?
Randall Cobb for his size is actually not too bad most of the time. He's pretty good. I think Amari Rodgers is a pretty good run blocker most of the time.
Yeah, I think Amari. You know what? Yeah, Amari.
So you want the run blocking wide receivers?
Yes.
And you'd like the pass catching tight ends because we don't worry about Big Dog. Actually, he's not very good at blocking anyway. We already showed you that.
He sucks.
I don't think we have any tight ends that are good at blocking at this point, do we?
We don't. Not a single one.
We got rid of the good one. The one that was.
We had one guy, Dominic Daphne, who was good, and they got rid of him. So apparently he was injured or whatever, which I didn't know.
Okay, we didn't know, but still. Oh God,
but he was our best blocking tight end.
Why can't we find a tight end that can block? Well, we never draft them, but that's part of it.
There's a lot of tight ends that can block. Well, they think they've got big. He's another tackle out there. That's what they keep saying.
Oh, Zero doesn't think Aaron's gonna approve of 75%.
I don't care, Zero.
What's the last thing?
Even Rodgers said that when your 2 best, he's like, hey, you gotta get your 11 best players out there. He even said 28 and 33. They got to be out there. That's what he said. Yeah,
they do. And you got to use them. You got to be out there, and you got to get them the ball. At least
decoy him
35 times a game between those two guys. 35 to 40 touches a game, right?
I saw something today. They showed on Facebook. I saw something. It was Dorsey Levin's 2007 season, and if he had the playoffs, he had like 2,300 yards total offense and a crap ton of touchdowns, and he was averaging like 7 yards a carry at one point, and it's like, what the crap? It was just like, man. And then we got poor Aaron Jones, who gets taken out of the game all the time. It doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, these 2 guys need to be on the field at all times. We talked about it in the show with all 5 of us, where I said, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, 2 of the top 5 PFF running back grades all of last season. 2 guys in the top 5 on the same team. Yet they were never on the field at the same time last year. Now that Devontae's gone, you have the option. You have the ability now to utilize them and use their skills as decoys at times. Can you imagine a Aaron Jones out of the backfield, moving in motion, takes a linebacker out of there? You fake the handoff to A.J. Dillon up the gut, and then the other linebacker is scared to death of it. And then over the top of that, you have through the seam, DeGuara sneak it in. There's a 20-yard freaking pass right down the middle. Because the linebackers, he left the middle of the field. Oh, genius.
Ben, that sounds like running offensive plays, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Crap.
That sounds like a play you drew up and the players ran it the same way that you drew it up versus, making the route adjustments based on leverage and the quarterback's mentality and all the other stuff. Anyway, look, we'll see how it all works out, but I just find some of those things really ironic, and the strength you keep your strength at safety right now, strength at D-line. Go a little lighter in some of these position groups where you have solid, really good starters that you want to lean on. And when it's a situation like the wideouts, you go younger. You go younger and cheaper when things are all the same or close to the same. And that means bye-bye Sammy Watkins. And that means, I guess, you keep Randall Cobb around just because he's the most familiar with Rodgers. But Sammy Watkins should not make this team. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, and we talked about tight end, Jonathan. All the tight ends are kind of bad, but they're going to keep 4 probably, and I would keep 3 at the most. I don't know. Anyway, all right, so the other big thing about tonight's show is the 70 fart gun salutes for Mom's 70th birthday today. We are currently at 62 fart gun salutes.
That's it. It up.
65. And, oh my God, I thought my battery was going to go down. That's 68. 68 farts gun salutes right now.
Dang.
And we will finish the way you should finish. That's 69 right there. 70 will be the full-on Master Blaster, which I think was a Stevie Wonder song. Fart Gun Salute. Didn't he have Master Blaster? Pretty sure that was a Stevie Wonder song. Happy birthday, Mom! One more for it. Oh, we'll call that a continuation. That is official. As promised, Hafeman Brothers always deliver what we promised. Now, 70 Fart Gun Salutes on tonight's show. 70 Fart Gun Salutes in order of Mom's 70th birthday today. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. I got to say, though, one thing.
Yep.
I noticed today when I was at work and I was taking a dump.
Oh, boy.
And I looked down and there was a hole starting in my crotch again. But it's not the same pants that my mom already fixed a hole in the crotch that she did last couple weeks ago when we were there. It was the pants that she fixed the hole in the side with the purple. Now that one's getting a hole in the crotch. So I'm either working way too hard or I've got some extremely powerful farts that are blowing holes in my pants, and I don't know which it is. But either way, Mom, I need you to fix those pants now. So I love you. Thanks for all the stuff you do for us. Fixing holes in my pants.
Come on, man. Come on. You got to fix your own pants one of these days. Jonathan.
Mom was good. She's got four sewing machines. She could give me one.
We'll get to Viking Packer type stuff as we get closer to that actual game. We got a long break here, right?
We're just talking Viking Mo on that week, and
oh yeah, we'll get Viking Mo on here. I'm sure we'll make time. He'll make time for us, or we'll make time for him. Remember, he officiates. He's a football official, so he does officiate football games. So we might have to work a special night in there or something like that, or go extra late, maybe after he gets home from his officiating. I don't know how it works out.
Why would he want to do that?
He's Viking Mo. He loves the Vikings, and he loves getting beat by the Packers. But anyway, he's excited about his team, Zadarius Smith, and we'll see how that all works out. Okay, well, I got all my things in that I needed to tonight. That's all I got for you. You got anything before we go?
No.
Everybody,
birthday,
thanks for hanging out. Mom, happy birthday. We love you. Mom says she'll fix them on your birthday. There you go.
Nice. My birthday present.
That's your birthday present. Be better than 70 fart gun salutes. A better birthday present for you. All right. Everybody stay well, be good. We'll see what the Packers choose to do, but hopefully they're smart, keep the right players around. And then if they're not, hopefully they get lucky and those players clear waivers and they can at least get them on the practice squad and make up for their mistakes. Okay. That's all I got for you tonight. Stay well, be well, and remember, Goody is the man. Tell me why, Mr.